love hearing about the fucking cosmetic drama slop that China gives. It's so good. I love this creator, dude. Wadi's been popping off with the China slop drama. Like the one where that one girl was playing Among Us with 5 guys, that shit was so peak. But seeing where like the stupid ass Westerners are gonna go with their beauty trends, because right now, like all of these OnlyFans hoes, they are gonna realize that they have completely obliterated their bodies in like 10, 15 years. And they're going to be completely unrecognizable when they have to get all this cosmetic surgery removed. Because in case you guys don't know this, breast implants can't stay in forever. They have to get removed and replaced every 8 to 10 years. These women are going to look like trash for their future husbands. And they're going to be left divorced and alone. It's going to be hilarious. But this will be the next step in cosmetic drama.
Have you been sleeping? You have? How dare you? Are you asking to look ugly?
Yes.
Come on, let me see those eye bags of yours. Let's fill them a little bit more, shall we?
That is
Don't worry, as long as
gross.
you don't touch them, they won't pop. I promise. Oh boy, do I have a crazy one for you guys today. Because last time we talked about eyelids, but this time it's the opposite. We're talking about eye bags. People across Asia have been eating up the Eggo style aesthetic for years now, and many influencers in China are even injecting filler to get a more pronounced under eye bag look.
Nah, they just look stupid as shit, bro. It's like when Africans think that having a long neck is beautiful, so they wear like golden rings around their neck to elongate their bones. It's like, oh fuck, bro, who likes this?
When I say that, you probably assume that they go to a doctor, but no. They do it themselves at home after watching a 1-minute Douyin tutorial, which ultimately ends up with millions of people getting the bubble eye effect. This is where your eye bags start inflating and bulging out to the point where at any moment, it can literally pop. We're talking about the infamous lying silkworm injections, or in Chinese, 窝蚕, and it looks exactly as it sounds.
It's so foul.
Silkworms under your eye.
Yeah,
the whole idea is based on Eggo style, the tiny little puff right underneath your eyelid that naturally appears when some people smile. Normally, it's subtle. But because platforms like Douyin and Xiaohongshu have the—
Bro, they just look weird, bro. They do. They look so fucking weird. Like, don't get me wrong, like Chinese people, Japanese people, South Korean people, like, they look good. They look good. And their skincare routines are very vigorous and they're very effective. Right? Like white women age like shit. Because here in like the Western fucking areas, women don't do as much vigorous skincare as they should. So you got to get a girl. Damn. Editor, cut all that out. You got to get a girl that follows like Chinese and like South Korean skincare routines. Otherwise, they're going to end up like pruned up and ugly as shit by the time that they're like mid-30s. Right, but they be doing too much sometimes, man. The cement in the forehead was where I drew the line. Injecting larva into her eyeballs, we're getting a little bit crazy here.
This magical ability to take something that's completely natural and then crank it up to the maximum overdrive until it goes viral. Instead of a small under eye ridge, people are ending up with these giant swollen bubble eye bags that look like they're one sneeze away from exploding.
Jesus.
Many netizens started joking that it looks like there's a small caterpillar right under your eye.
Joking, aka telling the truth.
I mean, it low-key looks satisfying to pop though. Imagine if you just take like a toothpick and just like poke it. Sorry. And the worst part is that it's not just a side effect of appearance, because some people are ending up with infections, ulcers, and eye bags bursting. I mean, sometimes the filler in the eye bag starts drooping downwards and even spread all over your face. But let's talk about what people were actually trying to achieve in the first place. Lying silkworm or under eye bag procedures that make your eyes appear larger, softer, and more youthful.
I mean, bro, this bitch just looks retarded. She looks like a WWE custom character. You know what I'm saying? Why is her forehead so big? I bet she got cement in there. I bet she also participated in the cement head challenge.
You either look 5 years younger—
That's real, by the way. I've reacted to that video on my YouTube, too. You should check it out. Or just check out Wani's channel. This guy's channel's amazing.
You haven't slept in weeks.
原本是要和我的卧蚕说拜拜的，可是因为种种原因，我的卧蚕它无法拜拜，那就继续戳吧。有些机构不要再拿我的卧蚕当失败案例了，虽然说它真的很失败。
God.
不然我真的生气了。我的眼袋明天就要去把它搞掉了。哈哈哈哈哈！最后来合个影吧。
No way you're gonna pop it. Ugh.
When it's natural, most people don't even notice it consciously. It's like one of those features that are just working in the background quietly.
Sure.
But Chinese influencers don't do quietly. For people who don't have a naturally pronounced Eggo style or under eye bag, cosmetic procedures started offering ways to create it artificially. The most common method involves injecting filler right under your lower eyelid to create that raised appearance. And the most frequently used material is hyaluronic acid. My best friend. It's one of the most common fillers used in cosmetic procedures. Minimally invasive, recovery is relatively quick, and in many cases, it can be dissolved if something goes wrong.
Good, I'm glad.
Sounds great, right? But the problem is that many of these beauty clinics are buying these products online. Real medical fillers are expensive. I mean, there's a reason why these medical clinics charge what they charge. So instead, people start using counterfeit products to inject into their eyes. I guess you could call them Temu injections. Online marketplaces became suspiciously filled with these cheap filler products, and people scavenged to find the best deals with the best discounts. Now, genuine hyaluronic acid products come in sealed packaging.
Yeah, when I'm gonna inject something into my fucking face, I'm not really gonna look to save a couple dimes. I'm just not. I just feel like, you know, that may not be worth the risk.
And these counterfeit versions usually have some very strange packaging. Like, look at the lettering and the registration of some of these, which is how we end up with
Needles
the
is
bubble eye
crazy.
bag cases. You get these pus-filled eye bags that sometimes look like it's a transparent bubble that's about to burst.
Freaky.
This has been happening everywhere, and it's mainly due to the counterfeit products as well as the injection method of these beauty clinics. They usually inject way too much and expect that a couple days
Like, bro, she literally has the cement procedure, the ear procedure, the lip procedure, the nose breaking procedure, and the eyeball puffing procedure. These people have lost their minds. What is wrong with looking normal, man? Holy crap. Just go to the gym and get an ass and no one will care what your face looks like anyways.
later
what are we
it
doing?
will settle. Except
What are we doing?
not everybody reacts to it the same, especially for unlicensed products. So what starts to happen
What
is that the
is that?
liquid inside your eye bag starts bloating and starts spreading to different parts of your face.
今天还是水泡，而且比昨天还肿。这只眼是眼尾肿，这只眼是眼头肿。今天的眼头好肿。今天我们这边出太阳了，本来我心情可好了，但是当我拿起手机看到我卧蚕的那一刻，就那一刹那，不要做，真的别做。这个卧蚕项目我真的不推荐。
This is no joke because these chemicals are so close to your eyes when they're being injected. One mistake can literally make you go blind. Which leads us to the
Jesus.
case of Miss Lu.
I
from
would not risk
Hangzhou.
that shit. Why
Now,
would
Miss
you?
Lu wasn't trying to become some experimental cosmetic pioneer. She wanted the same thing that thousands of people wanted: lying silkworm eyes.
I mean, the good news is anybody who has this shit, it's kind of like wearing a nose ring or dyeing your hair. You can immediately tell they have a mental illness from a mile away, so you can just stay away. So maybe it is a blessing and a curse. It keeps the crazies easier to identify.
That's it. So she decided to get these under eye bag filling procedures at Hangzhou Medical Aesthetics Clinic. And that same night, everything started going wrong. She started experiencing severe inflammation, allergic reactions. So naturally, she wanted the filler dissolved as fast as possible, which should have been the beginning of fixing the problem. But instead, during the attempts of trying to fix the filler, the staff members squeezed her under eye bag so aggressively that it popped.
Ah!
Yeah, her eye bag literally bursted open.
Oh,
And that wasn't the end of it. Because after multiple dissolving procedures, ulcers started developing around her eyes. And
Oh
according
my
to Miss
God.
Lu, right after the first dissolving procedure, the clinic aggressively netted the area around her eyes and made things even worse. The force
Jesus.
caused tissue damage, and attempts to dissolve the filler weren't effective either. So now she's dealing with tissue damage, failed corrections, and just all sorts of different complications. And then in April of 2025, more ulcerations started appearing in the corner of her eyes. So at that point, she was just referred to a hospital in Shanghai, and the doctors diagnosed her with severe inflammation due to a unknown product. And now she says that the corners of her eyes have been stuck together permanently. Her vision became limited and her whole face continues to be swollen. Meanwhile, the clinic reportedly argued that these allergic reactions are relatively common and they can easily be controlled with medication. Look, I'm not a lawyer, but if somebody's eye tissue starts ulcerating after multiple correction procedures, I feel like we've moved way beyond the just take some medicine stage.
Yeah.
That's just my theory. The clinic also offered around
Yeah.
150,000 yuan in compensation, so roughly 25k. But Miss Lu wasn't satisfied with that offer. I mean, given everything that she'd gone through, it's not hard to understand why. To make matters even worse, the manufacturer of the injection stated that there wasn't really a solution for this specific type of allergic reaction. And this is exactly why doctors constantly warn people about these eye bag procedures. The skin beneath your eyes is incredibly thin. I mean, it's packed with blood vessels and tissues. One mistake can literally make your eye bag start imploding. So, influencers took that advice and decided to apply it themselves. Literally. Because you see a bunch of these botched procedures and these horrifying cases and stories everywhere online. People start thinking, nah, why would I pay a trained doctor when I have Douyin? Yep, we've reached the point in the timeline where people are voluntarily trying to give themselves eye
these
bags.
people are so
This caused
stupid.
a whole DIY self-injection culture that started appearing all over Chinese social
They're
media.
so fucking
People
dumb.
started buying hyaluronic acid injection packages online, and then they started injecting themselves at home because they were trying to save money.
Like, don't get me wrong. Have I ever bought some product that I've been injected into my body and self-administered it? Yes, I have done peptides before about a year and a half ago. Sure, but it was grade A, like medical grade shit. I'm not going to cheap out on that. Fuck no. I just didn't want to pay for the procedure for them to put a needle in me because I can put a needle in my ass just fine, right? You know, like the peptide itself was around $500, but the procedure to get the peptide injected was like $1,200. Nah, I'm good, bro. I know how to do that.
And thought that clinics were going to be too expensive.
Cheaping out on the product is nuts. Also, there's a difference between putting a needle in your ass and a needle in your eyeball.
Others had previous cosmetic work that they weren't happy with and somehow reached to the conclusion that they would be a better doctor than the doctor. Yeah, maybe I should start doing medical procedures in my apartment. Douyin and Xiaohongshu became flooded with these videos of influencers constantly posting content about eye bag fillers, at-home injections, DIY procedures, people sitting in front of cameras doing these injection tutorials in less than 60 seconds. The comments would be full of people asking, where do I buy these products? How do I get them? Does it hurt? How much does it cost? Not whether if they should try it or not. And why would you get your advice from an influencer anyways? It's gone to a point where people would literally hire other people to come do injections for them, or even just tell their friends to come over and they'll do it for them for a small price. I mean, there was this 40-year-old woman who decided that she wanted to look younger. Pretty normal goal. Unfortunately, the method she chose was significantly less normal. She wanted to save money to do an injection herself at home. So she purchased something called a water light injection online. And after buying it, she started watching Douyin tutorials on what to do. And after watching the videos, she just started injecting it onto her face in her own place. And then she went to sleep. And then the next morning, she felt some weird pain and swelling in her right cheek. So she went to get it checked out. And it turns out that one of those tiny needles broke and ended up inside of her face. It wasn't staying still. It was moving around overnight. Like, first it started moving from her eye bag all the way down to her cheekbone, and then she said she couldn't even like open her mouth or even blink because of the pain. And doctors quickly warned that if the needle started moving up to her nerves or her blood vessels, it could be really bad. So they quickly removed it from inside her mouth and took it out. So not only is the risk of counterfeit injections already bad enough.
Wait, she look kind of good here. Okay. Bro, this chick look like a dick-sucking machine. She look like a fucking succubus. If that's her, hey, maybe the surgery ain't so bad. You know, they look kind of freaky, but in this one frame, it's not bad.
But manually operating on yourself, most people can't even give themselves a haircut. And unfortunately, the DIY crowd wasn't.
I've been shaving my head myself for like 6 years now. Even I still fuck it up and I bleed all over the place. That's a very fucking good point, bro. That's a very fucking good point.
The only problem, because one thing Chinese influencers just don't like hearing is that not everybody is a suitable candidate for these procedures.
Sure.
When your under eye area is relatively small when your face is relaxed, but then becomes super large when you start smiling, getting these fillers is generally not recommended for those kind of people. The best candidates tend to be people whose under eye bags are small when their face is relaxed and still small when they're making facial expressions. And people couldn't accept that. But there's always a workaround, right? Why not make yourself suitable for it by using another part of your body? Because injections aren't the only way. Some people wanted a more permanent, pronounced result. So people started transplanting artificial tissue into their eye bags. This
What?
involves making a 2 to 3 millimeter incision right under the eyelid and transplanting artificial tissue into the area.
What?
But the thing is, if it's not absorbed by your body, you're pretty much cooked. Because there's this viral case on the news of a woman who decided that fillers just weren't enough. It just didn't give them the look that they wanted.
What?
They wanted something that was a bit more exaggerated and pronounced.
Fuck no.
So they took another part of their body and put it into their eye bag. This woman's name is Xiao Ho, who somehow ended up in a completely different rabbit hole. Xiao Ho wanted the egg cell so badly that it involved her getting tissue from her booty and transplanting it into her eye bags. We are truly living in fascinating times. Xiaoho had always been dissatisfied with the fact that she didn't have these naturally obvious under eye bags. After researching her options, she chose this hospital that had apparently really good ratings. The surgeon recommended that you take some meat from behind there and just put it in your eye bag because it would make more sense since it's body chemistry and it'll absorb better. The doctors explained the process.
I really don't think people understand how easy, because people do this to get a partner, right? I really don't think people realize how easy it is to get a partner. Just be nice to them, because everybody fucking sucks. Just when you hang out with them, be nice and make sure they have fun. If you are talking to someone and you are nice to them and you make sure they have more fun with you than anybody else, and you at least go to the gym, should be a pretty done deal. It really should. You don't need to be doing all this shit. Why would you want a person that needs you to have 40 pounds of plastic put into your fucking body? You just don't. Like, what are we doing here?
And she knew there would be a scar, but she
Bro,
thought that this would
out,
give her
be
that
nice,
look
be
that
funny.
she didn't
It's
want
that
for her
easy.
whole life. And unfortunately, she ended up with these swollen bubble eye bags. Not only that, but it was asymmetrical, bulging out, and obviously not anything like the result she was promised. And what makes this even more painful is that Xiaoho actually took a online loan just to pay for this.
Oh.
So now she's in debt. I'm gonna take out a loan. Oh, for a car? No, silly, for my eye bags. And after getting the procedure, her boyfriend not only broke up with her, but also told her that her eyes looked ugly and even like sarcastically joked that she should just keep messing with them. At this point, Xiaoho just really wanted answers. She wanted accountability and somebody to explain what happened. So she went out to the hospital and they basically ghosted her and blocked her. Because
yeah, people are like, well, my personality's kind of shit. So rather than like working on it or studying it or trying to be a better person, I'm gonna get a brain transplant. Like, this is how these dumbass hosts think, bro. It's pathetic.
Customer service. And of course, once the journalists and the media got involved, the hospital's attitude completely changed. Suddenly, discussions were happening and they were willing to cover the costs. The hospital eventually offered corrective procedures and said that they would handle the expenses. But they also wanted to wait 3 months before operating again. And the reason is because they need the tissue to start softening first. Operating too early would potentially make things even worse, which makes medical sense, right? Or rather, they're trying to finesse her after the reporters left. Obviously, after being ignored and blocked by a beauty clinic, she's not just gonna take their word for everything. The hospital claimed that they had always intended to help and that there had always been a plan. They just needed some time and they just needed to wait. She smelled the cat from a mile away, so instead she got them to sign a written agreement and then she would later get it fixed. Once again, influencers are taking an aesthetic that originally came from makeup techniques, then permanently applying it onto their face. If you think about it, it is actually pretty scary how people easily get trapped in this cosmetic procedure loop. They get their eyes done, which starts revealing other imperfections on their face, which they want to get fixed as well. Even though those imperfections have been there from the start, I mean, it's just a placebo effect at this point. Honestly, if you guys somehow end up with these bubble eyes, even watching this video, just please, let me pop them for you.
Dude, Wadi's the man, dude. Cosmetic surgery is such a slippery slope. I always think about it, right? Like, if I were to get cosmetic surgery, what would I do? I would probably remove all of my belly fat. And then I would get veneers for my teeth. I would get nose correction surgery so I don't have this big ass Jew nose. And then I would get my left eyelid fixed because it's droopy because I got stabbed in my left eye, so it's harder to use. So it gets weaker and my left eyelid droops shorter than my other one. And then maybe I think that's it. Hair transplant, I'm pretty happy being bald, but I feel like it's a slippery slope, costs way too much. It's not worth the fucking risk. Plus, I hate going under. I don't like anesthesia. I don't like using that shit. It's freaky, bro. I feel like I'm just gonna fucking die. My heart's gonna fucking fail. Now you look fine. Fix your jaw fat. And it adds me a little bit of quirk. And then everybody, it's funny because it gives the schizos something to talk about. They're like, oh, dude, oh, he's taking crack. That's why his jaw does that. It's like, bro, I've explained it multiple times. I got into a fight when I was a kid. It's not that big of a deal. Anyways, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.